Hi everyone. I'm Ilanit, and I've been a corporate executive for many years. Done in the field of retail and leisure and real estate and manufacturing, and now I'm an environmental entrepreneur. I decided to give up all this consumer environment and go environmental. So over the years, spending this time in shopping malls and factories, I realized that we are in a really big consumer environment. And I got a first row seat to see how much waste we create and how we create it. So I saw that many of the products we consume, oh, a new dog came in. I saw that many of the products that we consume, some of them we use and we're done with and they're going to landfill. But some of them are not used. No one even sold them. They stayed in the factory, they just manufactured. But still, they end up in the landfills. And that's what attracted me to search something else. And this is how I found Shibboleth Gan. Let's take the food industry, for example, in which this is the company I'm working with and represent, is doing solutions for food waste. So maybe the easiest thing to solve is food waste, because most of it is organic matter, and organic matter can be recycled easily. In China, for example, 64 kilograms of food goes to waste by each person every year, which is 89 million tons of waste every year. And see this Shanxi province landfill site. It's huge. One site, 100 football fields. 10,000 tons of garbage a day. And this is only one out of more than 600 in China. And I'm not talking about other places in the world. So when I started to see what was being done, I found that many cities in China already found some solution for waste. Separation from the regular trash to organic matter. But what do the factories do? What do the supermarkets do with all of these expired products? So I didn't really know what they are doing. So I started to explore, and I started to talk with people, and then I met Adi from Shibboleth Gan, which I will introduce in a second. But first I want to talk about the problem. So we all know there are already few things that are happening around the globe. So first is climate change and the things it caused with all those disasters happening already around the world. And livestock farming. 30 years ago, a cow produced 20 kilograms of milk, and today it produces 40. It's a completely different animal, as my nutritionist co-founder said. And population around the globe is increasing, and by 2050 we are going to be 10 billion people around the world, and we need to feed all of them. And land is also being used not just for us humans, but also for animals to grow wheat and corn and grains. And as a result, we see deforestation. And meat consumption is also growing, in China in particular. So Shibboleth Gan, a leading Israeli company that provides environmental ecological solutions for organic waste for food factories, based in Merchavia, Israel, and now another branch in China, which we are really hoping to open the first factory soon. Those are my partners, Adi Cohen is the owner and CEO of Shibboleth Dagan Israel and a co-founder of SD Eco. Jose Galindez is co-founder of SD Eco and our nutritionist, and I already introduced myself. So we provide selected wastage solutions for livestock environment to reduce food waste. So we use the excess food of manufacturing. So which kind of food we are using? So we can use the dairy factories' residues and the expired products of the dairy factories, and bakeries and pasta factories, and bread and vegetable residues, basically every organic matter and every food waste that you know that are not being used or touched or sold. So a few years ago, around 30, Shibboleth Dagan fed around a few hundred animals, a few hundred cows. And today we are feeding 100,000 cows every day and remove 150,000 tons of waste every year. And this is only one factory. And basically this is mostly all the cows we have in Israel, because this is small. But in China you have 8 million of them and 45 million pigs. So this is huge, much more huge than Israel. So by doing this, first of all, we are tackling a huge problem. Waste. Where does it go? Today, it goes to landfills. And we are also easing the entire process of garbage collection. Because when you're a factory, you need to make sure you're taking a contractor to collect your waste. It costs you money. And eventually, we go to a restaurant and we pay for our meal, and we go to a hotel and we pay for our breakfast, and we buy food product in the supermarket and we pay for this product, and each and every one of those also contains the expense of garbage collection and waste management that the factory need to pay. So they also need to pay the collection and the landfill, and some countries also have fines for landfills. Then it becomes a very expensive business, and we, the consumers, need to pay eventually. Well, no music, but okay. No, it's okay. You can watch the, yeah, for now. No need for music. Yeah. So this is how we do it. Basically, this is in the factory in Israel. We take the products as is. This is very, very important, as is. Let's say we have this milk inside. We take it as is, put it inside the machine, we squeeze it, and we use the liquids inside, and the package goes to other place. So we use the unused, untouched. As you can see, all of this is either expired products or products that we didn't sell in the dairy company or in the supermarket. And we mix it into the most accurate, high-balanced nutritional livestock feed. And that's the result. This is how it looks. And then it goes to the farm. So this animal feed has two advantages. One, it's made out of something that does not need this anymore. No need landfill. And second, whatever grows in that field, also we don't need, because we recycle waste. So two big problems we solved, and this is what Shibboleth does. And another huge advantage is that we're using only existing technology. Meaning we didn't need to invent any new machine or a new software. And sometimes, well, investors don't like it. especially here in China, all want shiny technology, so I'm not very appealing to them. But we basically can use every machine that every country has. Sorry. Yeah, it's okay. Cool. And unskilled workers. And we can take rural China unskilled workers and unemployed workers from other factories that just closed. And we also create in this process jobs for unskilled workers. No one needs to be a scientist or an engineer to be in this kind of factory. And we're not talking about only one factory. We're talking about many, many, many factories. As I said, China has 8 million cows and much, much more pigs and poultry and so on, and livestock that we can feed. So we can build lots of those kind of factories all around China. So obviously, none of you here is a cow farm or a dairy company, but yet all of us here are environmentally conscious people, and this is why we sit here today in this event. So what I want us to do is to ask our manufacturers one more question. Where does the excess go? What do you do with the things that you don't sell? What do you do with this Oatly that you didn't sell? Once we start asking them this question, they will start to react. If you remember, a few years ago, we start asking them, where does your ingredients come from? So they started to buy social responsibility vegetables, and people ask them, do you pay the farmers enough money? And they also changed for biodegradable packages because we asked them to. And they felt obligated to tell us, consumers, what they are doing in order to change their way of manufacturing. But now we also need to ask them, what happens after that? Okay, buy my product, but what happens after that? What do you do with all your residues? You peel the carrot for a frozen vegetable bag. What do you do with the peels? What do you do with the product you didn't sell? I want us to ask them that question. And I'll finish up with a sentence from Confucius. And I can't read it. Now I can. No, not without glasses. The one who moves a mountain begins by carrying away small stones. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you so much, Elaine.
Welcome.
I would really want someone to ask a question, but then with time constraints, I couldn't.